Once each year, as October breezes bluster, there comes a most particular and most peculiar night, an anxious sort of night, where the dark grows a little more so, a jittery sort of night, when nothing is quite as it was, on a night called Halloween. And here the story begins, deep in the Strictly Ballroom, at the homes of we like to call, in the words of Bruce Forsyth, our stars of our show. And at this momentous day, on this moment in time, they were, well, in other words, they were, okay, you know what I was going to go with this. So it was the Halloween special for Should They Come Dancing 2025. And let me tell you, it was a spooktastica, if that's even a word, a fantastic episode it was as well. It was on the day after Halloween, which was close enough, though, to be honest. But it was a great episode. I enjoyed all the performances, and we also had a very heartbreaking elimination of a fan favorite that we all enjoyed this year, which I'll talk on a bit later on in the review. But overall, it was a fantastic episode. And not only that, we got the first full score of the series, which was incredible. And what I think is to be one of the best routines Strictly has ever seen grace the dance floor. We've got a lot to talk about in this week's recap and review of Should They Come Dancing 2025. So without any further ado, let's get straight into the review. So yes, folks, it was the Halloween special on Saturday night for Strictly Come Dancing this year, and I love seeing the Halloween specials. I think they're always so much fun, and honestly, this was just a fantastic episode, and the costumes that they were wearing this year were incredible. I mean, the judges looked incredible. We had, Lavoie in Queen of Hearts suit, Lewis in the tuxedo, Nikita in a wolf outfit. That was not on my bingo card. And honestly, it was a great episode. Everybody looked fantastic, and yeah, everybody looked overall it was a fantastic episode. But we did have probably the most heartbreaking elimination of the series, which we'll get on to in just a minute. Pardon me. But yeah, it was a fantastic episode. I hope you guys had an amazing Halloween, whatever you did. If you went trick-or-treating, if you did anything with your family, I hope you had the most amazing day, celebrating that day with your family, your friends. I'm not that Halloween sort of person. I didn't really do much. So, yeah, that was me. But anyways, let's just get straight into this week's recap and review for Halloween week, starting off with Vicky and Kai, who did the American Smooth, is that right? Yep, the American Smooth. I'm just going to get the Wikipedia document up, just so where we are. So, I need to quickly just refresh the page here because it's currently not on the thingy-majiggy. Just so give me a second and we'll just talk about it amongst ourselves. So I'm just waiting for the thingy to load. If it's not going to load, there we go. I've got it now. It's fine. So anyways, Vicky and Kai did the American Smooth to Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler. I love that song. It's a very iconic song. Every time I hear it, it's just goosebumps. And they got a score of 31. And I agree with the judges. With the three judges, I would have given this an 8. Craig, I personally think he should have scored this an 8 as well. But my goodness me, I thought this was a fantastic start to the show. I loved the whole routine. By the way, that costume, that outfit that Vicky was wearing looked gorgeous. And honestly, her improvement and in confidence has grown so much over the past few weeks. And seeing this performance with Kai was such a great moment, and it was just really lovely to see. It was very smooth, flowy, and elegant. Definitely one of her best performances she's done, and a great way to open the show. And yeah, and to be honest, when I first saw this, I was like, okay, how good is this gonna be? But this was way better than I thought it'd be. The lifts that happened, it was very fast, very smooth, and it felt like there was a story and there was emotion to it, which I really liked in that routine. So yeah, it was a great performance, and I really enjoyed it as a whole. A great score, a great performance, and again, I think this deserved an 8 overall, and it was a fantastic start to the show. Now we go on to the couple that was indeed eliminated this week, and that was Ellie and Vito, which honestly I'm absolutely heartbroken about. So they did the Tango to Abracadabra by Lady Gaga. They got a score of 27. I'd have given this a 7 myself. And honestly, she really did well in this performance. I loved to see that. I really enjoyed seeing the kind of serious side to her. You know, with the tango, she did the tango face, which was very fitting, and she did it very well actually. But honestly, all I can say is I am absolutely gutted for Ellie that she's gone out now, because every single week she just lit up the ballroom with her amazing infectious personality, and just I don't often do this, but I have to give a huge shout out to Vito, because my goodness me, what an absolute gentleman he is with Ellie. It was just the way he worked with her was so amazing. You know, the way he did the visuals of the boards, the cardboard cutouts of the judges where everybody was, amazing. And my goodness me, he absolutely. I think she really gave her that confidence that I was hoping to see within her, and she delivered that in amongst us, and it was just. Wow, it was just amazing. I'm gutted that she's gone, but also I just think Ellie is just such a huge inspiration to everybody who may be insecure, who maybe have insecurities of themselves, and I just think she's an inspiration to everyone. You know, of just being themselves, no matter what people think of you. It's absolutely amazing, and I have so much respect for both Ellie and Vito. I'm gutted they're both gone, but I'm so glad we saw them for as long as we did, because I really enjoyed them, and I'm gutted that they're gone. And I just again a huge shout out to both of them for giving it their all on Strictly this year. They were fantastic. Now we move on to George Clark and Alexis Ward doing the Cha Cha to Apple by Charlie XCX, and they got a score of 29 overall, and I would have given this an 8. I would have given it an 8 overall. I do think compared to his first performance, his last performance when he did the jive to Harry Styles, I thought it was definitely an improvement. And and I just he's just got so much talent to him, and I do think that I don't think the dance fully showed it in him this week, but I still think he's got a lot to show. And I really enjoyed the moves that he's a great dancer. I enjoyed the choreography. The movements he was doing, especially with his hip action was good. The way he did his hands within the cha cha, with the going out, that was really good as well. And yeah, I do think he's doing really well. I thought it was a good performance, and you know yeah, I do think he has way more to give, because I know in that in week 2 when he did the Paso Doble that week, that was absolutely phenomenal. And that's the week Shirley said that he could be the front runner, and I do think he's still got a good chance to being a potential finalist. But I think with some of the other ones coming in now, it's going to be really interesting to see how it comes along. But and also I have to say, I just think he's really sweet. He's such a sweet person. He just needs to show that he does have that oomph underneath that kind of sweet, polite exterior he has under, because he's just like I think he's too laid back. But so I want him to come out with that confidence more. But it was still a good performance overall, and I can't wait to see what he does next week. Now we go on to Lavoie and Aliash, who did the Paso Doble to the Fifth by David Garrett. Now you may be wondering yourself, like, the Fifth, who does that? Who does the Fifth? Who wrote the Fifth? Well, you may not know the title of the song, but you may know this very iconic intro. Yeah, that's right, folks. It's of course Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, which is an absolute belter of a song, right? That is, but they did the David Garrett version, the David Garrett version of that song, which was honestly a very, very good rendition, by the way, very dramatic. And let me tell you, she absolutely nailed this performance. Like, I knew, like, she would be good with any style, but my gosh, this was absolutely fantastic to watch. They got a score of 35, her highest score of the series so far, and I would have given this a 9 as well. It was just, oh man, this was just amazing. And by the way, the starting with the knights, that was really cool, very cool CGI, and the movement she did, the way she did, just oh my goodness, her and Ali Ash absolutely nailed this performance. Some of the movements that we're doing there, and it was just and the way she just took command of the stage, like you could tell this was a performance she wanted to do. I mean, comparing this to the performance a few weeks ago when she got the two score, where she got scored a two, which I still think is a bit harsh, Shirley, but still, she absolutely nailed this performance, and undoubtedly her best performance she's done in the competition. And yes, like this is what I wanted to see from her from week one. This sort of Lavoie coming in with the drama. My goodness, like wow, this was just it was just epic. It was absolutely epic, and the arrangement of that song was just incredible. When I was listening to it live, I realized it was the David Garrett version because I've heard that before. But my goodness me, she absolutely demolished this performance, and wow, wow, just it was just absolutely incredible from start to finish. And I will not be surprised if she actually like sticked around for a bit longer, because she really showed it off here, and it was fantastic to watch. Now we go on to with not only I think the best performance of the night, but I think one of the best routines ever to grace the Strictly Ballroom, and that was Lewis and Katya's couple's choice to "Creep" by Radiohead. And by the way, the style of dance I was not expecting, but let me tell you, this was absolutely a pure masterclass beyond belief. So I mean, watching this performance was just mind blowing to watch. So I mean, looking back here, so the movement he does a flip, and then he does like go, and then just I mean, I think he did a flip as well. I'm just rewatching the performance back to remind myself. But honestly, I think we just witnessed one of the best routines ever to grace the Strictly floor, as it was just absolutely off the charts. I mean, I mean, like I mentioned, I did not expect that version, like that dance to that iconic song. But my goodness me, some of the movements that were being done were just incredible, and both him and Katya really brought the characters to life during this routine. And you know, there was even one point where they were both like walking, but they were on their backs doing it. That was crazy. And you know what? The best part of this performance, and I tell you, that moment in the middle where Lewis when Lewis got on the piano and did that little dance solo, that literally made my jaw drop watching that. Like that was just incredible. And you know, honestly, I like for me, I couldn't even tell who was if he was either a professional or an actual celebrity, because he was that good. And they got the first 20 of the series, the first 40 of the series, which was so well deserved. And honestly, my goodness me, I think as of right now, he has now just solidified himself as the one to beat. I actually think he will win. The more I think about it, I actually think he actually could win the whole thing, and I would be so happy if he did, because he just honestly, I'm rooting for him. I now want him to win more than ever. He was just so good, and honestly, I don't think we'll ever see a performance like this in Strictly again, because this was just another level to what we've seen over the years, and it was just an absolute masterclass beyond belief. And if he is not a finalist, there is something seriously wrong. And I even said this from the very beginning in week one when he did that jive, that if he like, I even said that it didn't feel like an actual like first performance. It felt like at least a week 6 or 7 performance. But my goodness me, he absolutely demolished this performance. It was perfection, absolute perfection. And I am just so happy he got that full score of 40, and he deserved it. And I hope you win. I hope you win, Lewis. I want you to win, buddy. Honestly, this was just out of this world. Now we go on to Balvinda and Julian, who did the Rumba to Stay by Shakespeare's Sister, an absolute brilliant song. I love that song. And by the way, if you've not seen the music video to that song, I highly recommend you checking it out, because it's absolutely fantastic. And honestly, And she went in the bottom two again for a third time in a row, which is devastating. Like, what do they have against Balvinda? Like, honestly. But honestly, they got a score of 28 overall. I would have given this a 7 as well. I would agree with that. But I really liked the concept of the routine. I loved the music of this. I mean, the band do a fantastic job. But I thought she did really well with this style of music, style of dance, and she definitely deserved it. I think, it was just really. I'd say technically it's definitely one of her best, and probably my favorite one of hers so far. And yeah, I thought she really brought everything into this routine, from, the stretches, the movements, the stillness, the way of intricacy that was there was really lovely to see. And I must admit, it kind of, I don't know why, but watching it live, I kind of had a feeling the costume that Julian was wearing, it kind of reminded me of the prince from the Little Mermaid when they're on the boat, where Ariel and him are on the boat, and then Sebastian sing "Kiss the Girl." If you know, you know. But honestly, I really enjoyed this performance. Definitely one of her best performances she's done so far. And just yeah, don't. I mean, I was a little bit surprised that she made it into the dance off, but I was hoping. Excuse me. I mean, between who was there and the other two, I had a feeling she would. But this was definitely my favorite performance of hers, and definitely deserved to move on in the competition. And but can I just say the way she comforted Ellie in that dance off was really lovely to see, and massive respect to her. But overall, it was a great performance nonetheless. Now we go on to Harry and Karen, who did the American Smooth to Mystical Magical by Benson Boone. Love me some Benson Boone. And I must be honest, I was actually very surprised that he didn't end up in the dance off, and I think he was even shocked himself that I think Harry himself was even more shocked that he didn't end up there. So bless his heart. So they did that, and I do think that I do think throughout the competition he's had some really good performances. I think his samba to the Lion King was definitely my favorite of his, but I feel like his body is a bit wooden, if that makes sense. I kind of feel I've noticed I kind of feel like his body's it can kind of get a bit wooden at times, which kind of gets on my wick a teeny tiny bit. But he's got some flow there. I do think. I mean, I can tell that he must have been a bit out of practice throughout the routine, but it was still a nice ballroom dance from him this week, and people are saying it's undermarked. I don't really fully agree. I think it deserved a 6 in my opinion. I would have given it a 6 myself. But it was still good. But I will say it wasn't his best performance. I don't think. I believe he even stumbled a bit towards the end, which I did notice. But it was still really nice to see it. But yeah, I don't think it was his best performance this week, but it was still good nonetheless. But I'm hoping he can redeem himself in the next few weeks in the upcoming episode, which I do think he can do that. So I wish him the best of luck. Now we go on to Karen and Carlos, who did the Argentine tango to Red Right Hand by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, which is from Peaky Blinders. I can't do the voice, but if you know Peaky Blinders, you will know. And she got her first 10 of the series as well from Motzi and Anton. And let me tell you, is the routine I was hoping for from her from the very beginning. Because when we saw her do that jive all those weeks ago, I was like, okay, she's here to play. Then she had a couple of weeks that maybe wasn't her best, but this was by leaps and bounds her best performance without a doubt. I have to say, I think one of the best Argentine tangos I've seen this year. Like, she did amazing with this performance since since the first time we saw her, and my God, the precision was there, the twist, the turns, the intricacy, the intenseness, I guess the like the in well, can't think of the word. The kicks as well. Just the movements was absolutely sensational, and also that airborne flick, as well that she did was just incredible to see. and I mean it really, really was, and just I just yeah, I didn't I again, this was a performance I was hoping to see her do, but she absolutely nailed this performance. Like, this was a performance I wanted to see from her from the very beginning, but she absolutely nailed it. It was just incredible, absolutely incredible. And I do think after this, may have she may have given herself a shot to be a finalist. And I mean, that's how good this was. And it really was just fantastic. It was just out of this world amazing. Now we go on to Alex and Johannes, who did the Salsa to Horny by Hot and Juicy. I think, we all know that song by now, so I would sing it, but I can't sing for me life. So so basically the performance started off with in this restaurant where we had Frankenstein there. We had some skeletons. They seemed to have having a nice time in the this the siphon fork. I think that's what it's called. That's what they called it there. And by the way, Alex looked amazing in that dress, and you know, and so they was really good. But once, and then all of a sudden, Johannes takes off the black coat or cloak, and here he comes wearing this red monstrosity of an outfit. Which, by the way, he looked nice in. He looked very nice in that outfit. And my goodness me, this was a fantastic routine. I think I think her best performance she's done this year. I think they got a score of 35. I'd have given this a 9 with the others. And honestly, is there anything Johannes can't do? AKA Jojo is what the our fellow content creator Shirley calls him. I think that's his nickname, which is very cool. And I mean, the rotation was incredible. The body rhythm, the arm swings and lines. There wasn't a missed beat in the salsa whatsoever from what I noticed. And again, Johannes's choreography never disappoints. It's just, and Alex, for the past few weeks, she has given the full package, and it was just amazing, absolutely fantastic. Her best performance she's done this year, and again, another dark horse I could see going far in actually being a finalist. I think if George if George goes out a bit earlier than we think, I could easily see the top three being Lewis, which I think is a lock, Vicky, and Alex. That'd be my ideal final three, in my opinion. But yeah, this was a fantastic performance overall, and it was just amazing. And now we go on to the final performance of the night, which was Amber and Nikita performing the Vietnamese waltz to Icy Red by Everybody Loves an Outlaw. A great song, by the way. And also, Nikita wearing that wolf outfit was fantastic. He looked so cool in that. And it was kind of set like Little Red Riding Hood a little bit, which was fantastic. And they got a score of, let's get them up, they got a score of 35 again. So they basically tied with Lavoie and Alex and Johannes for 35. And this for me was absolutely incredible, an amazing way to end off the show. Everything was executed perfectly. The freckle, I think she did was happened there was one of the best I think I've seen, and it had so much reverse turns executed with amazing speed. It was just the storyline was amazing. It had also I kind of felt it had a fusion of Vietnamese and American smooth to it, but it was so exquisite. Like, it was just incredible. And people are saying that Shirley was a bit harsh on it. I can see why, but I do think I can understand where she came from. But I would have scored this a 9 overall, and just seeing how far Amber has now came since she was literally the last minute. She was booked in the very last minute after Danny Dyer dropped out. She was like the very last. I think she had like 24 hours, and she does these routines. It's just incredible. It's absolutely incredible, and this was a fantastic way to end off the night. And it was just an absolutely incredible performance all around. And also her best performance as well, by the way. It was absolutely fantastic. So there you have it. That is Halloween week for Should They Come Dancing this year. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Who were your favorite performances of the night, and did you agree with the bottom two and this week's elimination? Because I think um between Ellie and Balvinda, I had a feeling Balvinda would be going home, but yeah, I kind of had a feeling. But I think had it been Ellie versus Harry, then I think Harry would have gone home in that scenario. But yeah, that's how it is. We'll go on to the next show, and again, I cannot wait for the next episode. I just think it's gonna be fantastic. Who do you think is going home next week? Because I personally think Harry is probably the biggest at risk going home, but I could see well, first, I'd say Harry. I think is my personal pick going home next week. But I could maybe George, but he does have a good following, so I could definitely see him getting the votes. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Who are your favourites for Halloween week on Should They Come Dancing this year? And once again, thank you so much for listening to this review. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. With post notification turned on, I would really appreciate that. But once again, thank you so much for listening to my review on Should They Come Dancing's Halloween week. And of course, I will see you guys next time.